Good day, Natasha, and welcome to the Mthatha High Court. Yes, it was indeed a very brief judgment that was handed down by Judge Ntlangulela this morning. However, the document itself that contains the aspects of the judgment is a lengthy document, a 22-pager, which stipulates the reasons why this court felt they could not grant Madikizela-Mandela what she was looking for. A couple of issues have been mentioned in the judgment, but just to highlight a few that Madikizela-Mandela stood firm on and thought would be her winning or scoring goals here on the issue of customary law marriage was dismissed by this court, and the issue of the reason why it took her so much time before she brought this application was another issue that this court has raised. So on the issue of customary law marriage, this court, Natasha, believes that when they went into civil marriage, that is Nelson Mandela and Winnie Madikizela went into civil marriage, the customary part of their marriage was then dissolved, and then the civil marriage was the one that was being recognized. And when they divorced later in the years, that union, any legal relationship they ever had, was then dismissed. This is the reason why this court says it felt it could not grant her what she was looking for, because she was not the rightful owner anymore. And also on the aspect of the donation, because we know in rural areas the land is not owned by individuals, but the land is, you are just given the right to occupy the land. However, in the case of Nelson Mandela, the land was then donated by the Department of Land Affairs between 1995 and 1997. Now this court is questioning, Natasha, why it took her from that period and until now when she brought the application to the court. And they are saying, why did she wait for Mandela to pass on before she could bring this? Because Mandela is a key witness into this issue. Without him coming to state his case, it also made her issue invalid. So those were the main reasons why her application was dismissed this morning.
And Mthatha, do we know what the reaction has been from this? Will they appeal this?
Previously, when this case was heard in this court, Natasha, we saw numerous members of council from both sides attending here. We saw a lot of spectators from the public. We saw a lot of traditional leaders who were interested to see how the outcomes of this court, what the outcome of this court will be. We also saw a lot of journalists, both from local and national, but today it was a different issue, Natasha. We saw just the representatives that were sent by both council to come and receive the judgment. However, on the issue of journalists, we saw a couple of journalists coming here to get the judgment. So there has been no reaction at this stage, as George Bezos, who has been leading the executors of the estate, was not here. Also from the side of Winnie Madikizela-Mandela, we have been speaking to Mvuzo Nokesi. He was also not here today. He sent a representative just to get the judgment. So we're still going to speak to a couple of people. But when we spoke to them, while the case was still on, George Bezos, I'm sure, is happy because this is the issue that he raised. He said, why did Madikizela-Mandela wait for so long before she brought the application? But on her side, she used customary law. She stood firm. So I'm sure she'll be disappointed when she gets into the finer details of this judgment. So we're still likely to see what steps she'll be taking, whether she'll be appealing the judgment or taking it further.
Mthatha, thank you for that update. Our reporter Mthatha High live from the Mthatha High Court in the Eastern Cape. Stay with us. We'll take a short break. More coming up just after this.